extraordinary about where we are now is that we're mamish back into the 16th century. It's just incredible. The only other place that's a little bit like this is Tzfas, where you go back, and it's from the same Tkufa. Just to remind everyone what I said last night under the influence is that, just to remind everyone, after the Spanish Inquisition was over, that was the expulsion from Spain, so the Yidden had to go somewhere. So they went around the Mediterranean basin, that's where they went. But Torah moved to two places, to Tzfas and to Krakow and Lublin. That became the big heavyweight places over there. If you think about it, what we're going to see over here, remember Yasna used the phrase the Big Six? Alright, so the Big Six, what?
Yes,
the Big Six are the Bach and Galamukis, the Rebbe of Heschel, the Ashkenazi, the Tis Yosef, and of course the Ramah, right? So then you have the same kind of Big Six in Tzfas, and they were corresponding with each other, they knew each other. Like I mentioned yesterday, the Ashkenazi met the Arizal, so from the same school, and they rebuilt Torah over here. What is incredible about what we're about to see over here is that we're going to see a little plaque that says this is the place where the Ramah actually davened, and it is the place where the Ramah actually davened 500 years ago. The general rule is everything that's made out of stone is authentic from 500 years ago. Anything that's made out of wood or steel and stuff like that, that's all been refurbished. We have no idea what it would look like back then, but the actual shul, the place where he davened, and you see the stone carvings from the Aron HaKodesh, and when you walk in, you'll see the stucco boxes. All these things are authentic, exactly the way it was. And you go outside over here, and there's this little square called the Kashmir Square. This was given over to the Jewish people as their ghetto, but we loved it because the Bach lived in what today is the bar, karaoke bar on the left, and the Megala Mukas lived on the other side of the thing, and this place was teeming with Yidden, and it was our own place, and there was no one else, and this was where Klal Yisrael flourished. Just beforehand at breakfast, so the Rav told me a story. He showed me a story from Rav Zilberstein, and it said over there that when the Megala Mukas was the Rav of the city, I said he couldn't have been the Rav of the city. He was the Av Basin, but he never was the Rav of the city. So I just want to, if I can just share a quick and incredible story. Where you guys got off, I want you to picture the scene, right? The Bach is walking in the direction of the Megala Mukas, and he sees a tall, distinguished-looking person walking also in the direction of the Megala Mukas. The Bach does not recognize him. And then a few minutes later, he sees four black people. I can't begin to tell you. Seriously, I work for NCSY, so I've become paranoid because I'm British and unfiltered, and political correctness is every single moment. Your job is besuffic sakana. If you say, okay, so I didn't say the word. You didn't hear anything. How he holds
what word didn't you say?
He saw four people. He saw four people that were running also in that direction, and he starts. And the Bach at this point now is saying, "What is going on? Who are you people?" And he says, "Leave us alone. We have no time to talk to you." So the Bach runs after them, grabs one of them and says, "Who are you?" He says, "I am Gehazi, these are my three sons." So he says, "Why are you running?" So he says, "We can't tell you." So again, he pushes them. He says, "The gezerah that we had, that we should always be running after Eliyahu Hanavi." So this is like crazy. So the Bach suddenly realizes Eliyahu Hanavi is now in the Megala Mukas house. So okay, he's not going to miss out. He goes in, and he goes up to the Megala Mukas and says, "Do you have any interesting guests over here?" He says, "Maybe." Okay. No, I'm not sure. You're just the Bach, the God Lador, the Rav of the city. I'm not sure I can tell you everything. He says, "Okay, tell me the truth. Is Eliyahu Hanavi over here?" He says, "Yes." He says, "I want to speak to him." Okay, he walks in. There's Eliyahu Hanavi. He says to him, "Why is it that you come to my town? You don't come to the Rav of the city. You go to the Megala Mukas." So this is the point, right? So the Megala Mukas says it's nothing to do with your greatness, but the problem is that I'm Eliyahu Hanavi, and a Rav of a city, to be able to be sholit on the city, needs a shminis of gaiva, and therefore I cannot be in his house. He says, but the Megala Mukas, he's not the Rav over here. He's just a regular basin. He doesn't have to have that meter. That's why I can be here. So now, when we go into the basic forest, and you're going to see the Megala Mukas, that they say about him that he had Gilu Eliyahu Hanavi. So now one story fits in with the other story, and as we always say, they don't say this about me and you, but that's one of the stories they say about the place that we're in. Just another thing, going back into the shul over here, it's just you'll be shocked that it's very small, but it doesn't mean that the community was small. This was the Ramah's private shul. What we see over here was the Ramah his private cemetery. At that time, then this was just wasteland. Today, it's the most important, by far, the most important cemetery in Europe. Again, the only thing that's like it is in Tzfas. And we're going to be walking in, and on the right-hand side is basically 500 years worth of Av Beis-Dins and Rosh Hashivas. We don't even know who's there anymore. It's completely rebuilt after the war. After the war, there was nothing left. They managed to steal some of the tombstones and trying to recreate a little bit based on the pictures of where everything is.
You had to be someone special, you're saying, to be buried here, and it wasn't just a regular cemetery.
So this is who wants to tell now? This is the perfect time to the story of the Holy Miser. Who's going to tell the story of the Holy